Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into it. Because I know that's why you're here, right? You want to get into it. So let's get into it. First of all, I'd like to thank all you guys who have supported the page all this time and continuously doing so. We appreciate it, all the love and support. And we want to say thank you for everybody who's been listening and joining the Patreon. We appreciate you also. Yes, we do. Now, there's been a lot of technical difficulties going on throughout. Not blaming anybody, I'm just saying, but a lot of technical issues. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to get it right. Now, when we start getting it right, we're starting to see that there is a trending pattern of getting it wrong. And when people start getting it wrong, it starts to go off the rails. And that's something that you don't want when you are trying to get things going in the right direction. Marcellus WIley has been dealing with a case that has gotten a lot of attention, especially from Black males, as like males in period, because there is a bad system in play here that seems to be a precedence of someone trying to stage an event for attention or whatever the cause may be. The problem that gives us such alarm is the way it was done. It seemed to be out of the blue, and it seemed to have used the children. And I had a problem with that from day one. Now, I don't agree everything what Marcellus WIley says. I don't agree with a lot of things a lot of people say. Even some of your best friends you don't agree with. But sometimes they're right. And a lot of times they might be right. And in this situation, he's right. In my estimation, he is 100% correct. Now, I've often said to people, follow the path. It's going to lead you to the truth, whether you want it to or not. Whether you believe it or not, eventually it will lead you to the truth. And the truth has been staring you right in the face. Now it's about, are you ready to believe it or not? Now, first of all, this Rachel Linsay person comes out of nowhere and decides to talk all bad about Marcellus WIley in this situation. But let's listen first.
Oh, Donnie?
Yeah, next one is a turn. The Florida prosecutors have dropped the domestic battery case against Marcellus WIley, saying that there was not enough evidence to obtain a conviction. According to court records, the decision comes after testimonial evidence received was, quote, not corroborated by any physical or other evidence, which left it insufficient to obtain conviction. WIley celebrated the decision on social media, saying the dismissal vindicated him, arguing that false allegations can also create victims. The decision does not prosecute, however, it is not a legal finding that the allegations were false.
He's a piece of work.
Okay.
I mean,
immediately from the introduction, she comes right in and says, he's a piece of work. So she's already based an opinion, but let's see how she gets there.
Marcellus WIley acts like this is the only accusation that is out there against him. It's not. It's one. And whatever happened that night, it wasn't like it was a phone call. I mean, whatever happened, they took him in. Now, I don't know if you saw Anna Marie's statement, but she said the only reason it got dropped, it was something about she wasn't aware of a court date and or a hearing or something, and she didn't participate. And now she's been trying to get in touch with the DA's office and they're avoiding her. But just because that was dropped. I mean, like the allegation was that he poked her cheek and he threatened her verbally. Yeah, like somebody would have to necessarily be in the room. A cheek poke of the cheek, there is not any physical evidence, but just because it was dropped because they don't feel like they have enough to prove their case doesn't mean it didn't happen. And that's just that. Let's just say it was dropped. He's using the dropping of this Florida incident to define everything of their marriage and relationship together and who he is in totality as a person. He is using this to say that she's a liar. He is literally jumping for joy and relishing in the fact, which is very telling of his character, the fact that these charges were dropped. It's one thing, it's nothing wrong if he's like, these charges were dropped. I hope to continue to fight my case and prove my innocence. If that's
Why would he be fighting a case to prove his innocence when the case was dropped? I don't understand that. Why wouldn't this man be excited that finally the truth is coming to the light and not the lies? Her statements have been proven to be lies. This lady has come up with every excuse to call the police on Marcellus WIley, to talking about he's violated his visitation rights. And she has been shot down every single time. Now, if I'm wrong, they can please come out and prove that's wrong. But this has not gone smoothly since the separation of him from his household. Being back in his home around his children. This case was about the domestic violence case being dismissed. She mentioned he's got 4 other cases of domestic violence. And I mean, like sexual harassment and all this stuff, violation cases and stuff. 4 other ones. You didn't mention there were more than 4, ma'am. And those cases were all thrown out. Like 3 of them are gone. And these were other cases that they're trying to continuously pin. When it comes to a court date where they got to show and prove, those will be probably removed as well. But you didn't even mention that. You just hung on to those cases to try to make this man seem guilty because of it. Because this man has a case here, that means he's guilty here. You've already prejudged Marcellus WIley coming into this with an unbiased approach. Now, I did not prejudge Anne Marie. I'm going off what the courts had prejudged her by saying there's no evidence here. You called the police on a man because he poked your cheek. And your original claim is madness. And you did it in the middle of your children's event, their tournament, their friends, their lives. You'd rather torture them, drag them, try to get them to lie. I find that disgusting from a mother to do to their children. If a father was to do that to his children, I would be disgusted at the father. You never weaponize your children to go against their parents. You know what kind of psychological scarring you're going to do to these children? Because they're probably confused and trying to figure out why mommy and daddy are not getting along. They don't understand it yet. Some are not old enough to probably process it. And those who are probably been hiding their resentment. Did that ever cross your mind?
Something that he did, but that's not what he did. He shit on her. He centered himself and said there are real victims when someone makes false allegations. He's the victim. He does a hashtag that says men too. Mm-hmm. You have sexual assault allegations out there, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, from 4 different women. And you want to use a hashtag that says men too. Tell me you don't care about the seriousness of what's there that's surrounding you and what you are being accused of. And in addition to this, she's, in her divorce pleadings has talked about a history of different types of abuse. And to me, making light of it or using this to define everything, not only is problematic, not only doesn't give us any evidence that what she's saying isn't true, it's just also just so irresponsible and really speaks to how, I'm sorry, bad of a person Marcellus Wiley is. It really does.
So you think he's a bad person because he's celebrating the fact that lies that were told against him were dismissed in a court of law after he had to go through the humiliation of being mugshot, fingerprinted, processed, put in a system, and thrown in a jail cell, all based on a false allegation. Why that's never the case? Why is it never that way? Why is it always something else? Why is it always going in a different direction that doesn't add up? Men too. Exactly. I find it that it's very interesting to me that people will make the facts to fit their own narratives. And this woman here had already prejudged him and said that this man has no right to be happy. He has no right to feel vindicated. And this does not prove that this woman is lying because the evidence was thrown out. Now, Anne Marie put out a post stating that, like she said, she was not notified of the court date. And because she wasn't notified of a court date, therefore, she couldn't fight the case. There was nothing she could do to stop any of it because that was it. They wouldn't let her fight the case. So granted, she couldn't fight what was going on. There was nothing that could deter what was happening there. Well, you're going to often have problems when you have other individuals that get involved and try to make a moment for themselves. Now, who is Rachel Linsay? I was like, well, who is that? Come to find out, she's another form of The Bachelor. And you could tell she's another Candace Owens wannabe. And she, another Black woman who seems to try to create controversy wherever she goes because it brings attention to her. So congratulations, Rachel Linsay. You've done that. So, but it's believe all women no matter what they say. But she took it down. She took down her statement claiming that the Florida prosecution didn't try to contact her and they went and had this court date without her knowledge, and she would have went there, and that's the only reason the case was dismissed. All lies. You know why? Because I'm going to assume Rachel Linsay didn't read the actual statement. She just wanted to say her opinion because she chose to omit that they actually gave reason as to why they dropped the case. There was no witness to corroborate the evidence, and there was no physical proof of any harm on the persons. And the person that she chose to be the witness, the wife, because she said our daughter witnessed it all. So they interviewed the 10-year-old daughter, and the daughter said that did not happen. I did not see dad do any of it. So that's why the case was dismissed. Because her daughter wouldn't lie and said that she saw her dad do that. So Anne Marie chose to weaponize their child when she put that in the original police report statement. It's in there, it's in the file so the whole world can see. So I know who's at fault here. And when the daughter didn't say these things, they dropped the case. But you did not say that. You should be asking yourself, why would a woman say that a man put his finger on her cheek while she was laying down sleeping is enough to make you call the police and have this man arrested in front of their children? If he was so bad and so violent and so out of control, why do you have him there out of town with him anyway? If he's going to be that unpredictable, I wouldn't want to be around him in public anywhere else. And they wonder why men don't get married. Men are not getting married because it's like a bad investment for them. They don't see the plus in getting married anymore. So it's become a sad scenario. Well, absolutely. Not everyone's marriage is the same. It's just that they have the crux on it. A lot of people don't get married because it's a bad investment on them. 100% around the board. So if you see anything that formulates or look like this, you run away from it because you don't see it beneficial to yourself.
Like even if none of it was true, I just couldn't imagine that like other people would act like this. They would just say, I'm going to prove myself. You soon will see. He is using every opportunity to shit on her that he can. And that's really telling in how he's acting in all of this. Dropping of
If I had every opportunity to shit on a person that tried to destroy my brand, my credibility, who I am as a man, any opportunity I can get, I'm gonna shit on that person. So I don't understand. When you felt the white guy was coming at you, Colton, Rachel Linsay, right? Who was saying things about you and you felt they wasn't fair, you defended yourself and went after him on various platforms. So it's okay for you to defend your credibility, right? And who you are as a person, but a man can't, or in this case, Marcellus WIley can't. Why is that?
the case does not mean that you're completely innocent of everything over the last 14 years or however long they've been together.
How do I responsibly talk about this while also giving how I actually feel? Okay. Let's rewind a little bit. What would be an appropriate response
What
to
I
this?
said.
Okay.
I'm happy that, if this is Marcellus, I'm happy that the prosecutors, could see that there was not any truth and that to the allegations. I'm hoping to continue to fight my case in a court of law and to continue to prove my innocence.
Okay. So let's try to have two different conversations here. One, we could have a conversation about how bad of a person you feel like, or anyone feels like Marcellus WIley is, right? And there certainly seems to be evidence to that if you look at all the allegations against him, right?
And can I just say that
Okay.
those are allegations, and so I'm not saying that that's necessarily true. What I'm using to define where I say I feel like it's really telling of his character is in the way he celebrates some of in this particular situation, the way he is celebrating what happened here, the way that he has talked about his wife on social media, using a hashtag that says men too, centering himself. These are common denominators to me in that the way that and I guess I'm also coupling just like historically how he talks about women. It is telling to me of his character. That's more so what I'm basing it off of than allegations, but keep going.
So she's already came in with a prejudged position. She already don't like him over some things he said in the past, over something to do with women, that he was not in line with her beliefs. So she's taken that prejudice and put it to the situation. So she's not evaluating the situation from a non-biased standpoint. She already came into this with a bias against Marcellus WIley. Now that's been revealed. Continue.
Yeah, that's granted. Let's say I grant you that. If in fact these charges are dropped, then the charges are dropped. So when the allegations come, people go, look what his wife accused him of, look what he's been accused of.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, because in situations like this, it's rare that women make accusations that aren't true. You go, okay, let's be real, you assume that this event took place, right? You assume that it did. You just do. You take the accuser's word for it in this situation. Now, if you come out and you say, hey, I didn't do this, none of this stuff ever happened, the only way for that to be undergirded is for the authorities to look at it and go, there's not enough evidence. That's the only way, because it doesn't matter. That's legitimately the only way, because short of her coming out and being like, even if she were to come out, even if in this situation, the accuser would have come out and be like, you know what? Like, this didn't happen. I recant what I said. You still look into it and go, what happened? Was there a payment? Was there some sort of arrangement? Is this somebody who didn't want to lose their marriage? Because there are accusers, let's just be real, that come out and recant accusations all the time, and we know that money was involved. We know that there was some type of arrangement that happened. We know that there was a settlement. We know that those things happened. The only way to actually walk away feeling like you have an understanding is if there was an independent investigation into it. And in that independent investigation, somebody went, there's no there.
They said it's not to be clear, insufficient evidence, which doesn't mean something didn't happen. It means they can't prove it.
Well, that's all that matters.
I'm just telling you, it.
Now, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So when you hear somebody say that in that kind of tone, you automatically know what time it is. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. A man could get kidnapped by a UFO. I was kidnapped by a UFO and it dropped me off here. That's why I'm here to report it. Now, if they can't prove it, that's all that matters. It ain't about what you know. It's about what you could prove. Hit them with that training day. Now, if you can't prove it, that's all that matters. So what you gonna say? We have no proof that that man wasn't abducted by an UFO. Damn right. We got no proof that I wasn't. So when you have people like that on the stand and they keep continuously going down this rabbit hole, there's going to continuously be more and more problems on the outset. It's just piling up, and then it's going to compile to that there's a massive amount of issues that are happening here. And because of it, we're constantly in a flux where things are not improving and they're getting worse by the day. Marcellus WIley is innocent of these claims, to me, based on the actions that has been happening by his own wife. She has tried to get this man arrested, said that he was doing all these things, violating the visitation. They found none of this to be true, and she's lost that situation as well. Now, from Marcellus WIley's character, women that have been with him before said he's never been like this. So all of these depictions that she has of Marcellus WIley is turning out to be very strange. That these women that he went to college with are making these claims about him that they said they've had since like 94. And now here come these other women that he probably don't even know. Said probably, we don't know. And they're making statements that don't benefit the argument. So with all of this stuff going on, it's all about who people like and what direction they choose to want to go towards. So it's real easy sometimes to walk up that ladder and that mountain, and they don't want it to fall on them, but eventually it will. It's all been a matter of time. So yeah, well, my thing is this. When you see someone who goes out of their way to try to make things work, and you find a way to try to destroy it every time you turn around, there's only so much you can do. before the situation implodes on itself. Well, it moves in a different light. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So you feel bad for Lil Durk. Well, when you're an artist and you run into a situation such as that, then you start to see how it plays out in real time. It's not something people are proud of or they're happy about. Um, yeah, it's been a wild week. So all the women said that they heard the video with me and Kwame Brown, and I'm a male chauvinist pig. And it was disgusting to hear you and Kwame Brown kikiing over, women suffering and all of this and making light of it. I don't know how you got that out of the video when we were basically standing up for women. So I just don't understand it, to be honest. But this is what you get. Well, you're going to run into that a lot.
If you all want,
Bless your
dislike that.
And was raised by a single mom, and this is what I've learned. And then I did another video, Black Men in Therapy, and the comments from Black women, wow, color me surprised. I kept receiving.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up for you. There we go. Look, black women asking white men to help get rid of black men. You see that? You don't want to talk about programming? Learn from our mistakes on the past. Now, this is Eunice Vernell Rivers, Lori. She was a black nurse who worked in the state of Alabama. She was best known for her work as the coordinator of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment from 1932 to 1972. She lied and tricked black men into trusting her so she can inject them with syphilis. Now, again,
Just not black men.
Well, is there any women here who don't want to deal with men, period, or is it just black men, or is it a mixture?
It's just black men, and we actually want non-black men's help in these corrections that you speak of.
So what are the corrections that you're looking for specifically?
Force, because that's the only thing that's gonna work.
But I mean, what are you looking for black men to arrive at? A place of understanding of like, what do you want to see?
Well,
We believe that there is no hope for them. That we don't believe in changing their minds. We don't. But I'm trying not to say what I really want to say because you're on stage. But
Now, is that some real audio from a conversation that was had on Twitter Spaces? We don't know. But what's the chances of that conversation?
so here it is. You got black women saying we don't need men. You have white, Asian, Hispanic saying we'll take them. And this is the problem, that we're trying to get women to recognize that they are weaponized you to be against the black man, because you give birth to black men and queens. They know that. So when you see this play out, this isn't a man hunt or a woman hunt. This is a way to try to find out what is going on in society. What is the actual problem here? And why is it not being fixed?
Asking for. And as much as these women want to say that they dislike this group of men, we honestly got to say we have never heard black men discuss how much they dislike black women in such this violent way.
I did not realize how hated black men were by black women until I did my series. My husband was raised by a single mom, and this is what I've learned. And then I did another video, Black Men in Therapy, and the comments from black women, wow, color me surprised. I kept receiving comments full of skepticism from men saying, are you really trying to give us grace? Are you really trying to understand us? And when I saw the women comment, I went, oh, wow, now it's starting to click. And it saddened me, but I now understand. And a lot of them brought up generalizations about black men creating broken homes and leaving more baby mamas and babies out there. But I feel like millennials and Gen Z are swinging the pendulum the other way from Xers and boomers, because they're trying to be in their children's lives. They're not trying to have these broken homes. They're trying to make it work with their partners. So now I understand comments like this, but I'm a big advocate for all men's healing.
And I really didn't believe in a lot of the so-called dislike that black women had for me, and I didn't believe it on the internet until I noticed it after Kevin Samuels passed away. The way that some black women did Kevin Samuels, it...
I'm just being honest. Oh. That's okay. Girl.
Income a year of women want them. I promise you, if black men were so terrible these other races of women would not be desiring them. There would not be whole schools and classes on Black culture that other races of women are taking to learn more about how to attract Black men. No, the issue isn't the Black men, but the good ones y'all don't want. Y'all don't like the nice guys.
This is gonna sound bad, but don't take it like that. What is y'all annual income a year? I'm just being honest. Okay. Girl.
Don't ever put down your own. Don't ever put down your own. Love yourself and love your people always. Because it's not always sweet on the other side. I make a lot of content. I may make a joke or two about, Black men and how they this or that, but I love Black men. Real bad. Real bad. I have never laid with a white man. Never. I've never kissed a white man. No offense, no shade, no tea. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about Brittany Nicole. Huh? I love a Black man from the top to the bottom. Huh? That is it. That is all. So 2 days ago, I posted that video. It was a lot longer. And I received so much love, appreciation, and positivity from Black men. I mean, you guys went over and beyond. And it was the exact opposite from Black women. It was the exact opposite from Black women. I am a person who likes to be in a happy space. I love being happy. I love being a free thinker. And, certain topics, especially on social media, you can say something and it can get in the wrong hands or on the wrong side of TikTok, as we will say. And people will run with it. You know what I mean? Yesterday, it got into the wrong hands, in my opinion, of a group of Black women who just don't like Black men. And I've never seen anything like that. I was today years old. I didn't even know that existed. Okay. I am surrounded by Black women who love their Black men. You know what I mean? We all married Black men. We have children by our Black men. We care about our Black men. Our Black men care about us. I didn't know that there's a community of Black women who refuse to even deal with Black men. And this, I'm sure, due to bad experiences with them. But you can't write them all off. I mean, you just can't, in my opinion. You could do whatever you want, but in my opinion, I'm teaching my sons and my daughters, you can't do that. I had a random Black man on TikTok who has a big following message me. He does not want me to shout him out. He refused, I'm not doing it for this. I just want, and he sent me a large amount of money on Cash App saying thank you and keep standing up for Black men. I was touched, and I'm not posting anything for anybody to do anything for me, but for a random Black man to send me a lump sum of money and he didn't want anything, blew me.
Now I know some of these men be sending women.
Now, here's the thing. No other race is it weaponized that they go against the other race. You never see Latino women making videos like how they hate Latino men. You never see white women making videos about how they hate white men. You don't see this in any other race but Blacks because it's programmed for us to be like that. They're programming you to turn you against each other and us to hate you. But we don't hate Black women. That's the narrative that they want to push. But their mind has been so warped by these programming internet, and it's all superficial. Singularity. They know these black women give birth to black men. That's why on your television screen, you barely see any black couples. You see interracial couples. That's by design. They have been doing this for a very long time. This is systematic. And it's to break you down so that you would hate your own. It doesn't even register that they give birth to black kings and queens. So if you hate blacks because you choose to go some other route, you're going to be having babies by them. And they're going to use those babies to replace those black queens and kings, to eviscerate them off of the planet. So, yeah, it's a sadness. Um, yeah, well, it's a shame. And you got to deal with a lot of these women in society now. These women already have these prejudged statements and what a man is supposed to do. And he's supposed to sweep me off my feet. He's supposed to do this and that, but they bring nothing to the table. They bring nothing of value, nothing of family, nothing of no, it's all about superficial and want to tear down a man more than build him up. The world's going to tear a black man down enough for him to get it at home, where it's supposed to be his sanctuary. Why would he want to be there? So if you don't recognize that, then that's part of the problem. Yes, once again, it's often been a constant struggle and battle when you're dealing with a situation such as that. So just thought we'd bring that reality up, since they want to attack me for being cool with Kwame Brown and going on his channel to discuss a situation that they created with this WNBA. We didn't find anything wrong with it back then. We still haven't found anything wrong with it now. We just let it be known. So, yep. This is why we can't have our own. You know, you see all these black shows now. The black shows is always about a woman being in charge of the man. You don't see that anywhere in white society, where a white woman is leading a man. They don't have that anywhere. Hispanics, they don't play that. Indian men don't do it. Asian men don't do it. No other race, they say it's okay except for blacks. Why is that? Why do you think that is? God did not make it so that women could lead men. That was not his design. And women have been in charge and leading the charge, right? For black men. Where's that gotten us? Nowhere. Because women weren't designed to lead men. That was not their purpose. Eve got deceived by the snake to eat the forbidden fruit, right? And then she gave it to Adam to eat. And what God tell Adam? He said, I'm not mad that she gave you the fruit. What did I tell you to do? I'm mad. I'm upset you disobeyed me. I'm going to deal with her because she got deceived by somebody else and she broke the rules. But I'm mad at you because you disobeyed me. I don't care if she gave it to you, Adam. What did I tell you not to do? Not to eat the fruit off the forbidden tree. Right, and you did it. Right? Yeah, okay. Now, both y'all asses is out of here. So, that's basically it in a nutshell. In no situation in that Bible, when God was talking, did he tell women to lead men? Ever. 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 That was never the case. Women were never allowed to be in a pulpit to preach the word of God. Do they not remember that? For all these female preachers and pastors, a woman preaching, God never wanted that. Now, so if God said, don't do it, or I didn't say do it, why are they doing it? They get mad at Geno Jenkins because Geno tells them he's following the book. So he don't believe in women in the pulpit because God didn't say it so. But yet, they get mad at everybody else. So let that part sink in. He said chaotic souls. Yeah, that'd be a good way to look at it. Asian women know their job is to run the household. The man is the head of the household. That order has kept family structures together for generations. It doesn't mean that he's demeaning his wife. He doesn't value her works or anything, but she lets him be a man. She doesn't, well, I won't say let, she doesn't hinder his being a man. She doesn't get in the way of it. I tell them like this: when you play cards, you throw out that queen of spades, and I throw that king of spades out there. Who taking the book? You throw that queen of spades out there, and I got that king of spades. Who taking the book? That king. All right, the only book they taking is the cookbook. I'm not saying keeping them barefoot and pregnant. They can wear shoes. No, I'm kidding. But no, they can get jobs. They can do anything. Ain't nobody hindering them from anything in the world. But you're not going to lead and be the head of this household if I'm the man of the household. That's out. We can have a discussion, but the man is going to lead and make the decisions. No, and if I have a daughter, I would teach her the same way. Like when you find the right man, you're gonna know. And if that man does not honor you to be a good woman, but you also have to be a great listener, a great supportive woman. Then you will have a great quality life. You will have a great quality marriage. You will be able to go out and take trips and do something and have productive life together because you are about what your husband's about. You know, y'all about the family, y'all about keeping it all together and living by the grace of God. So therefore, you're doing what's right. You're doing the right quality thing in life to move forward. He said, Sino is right. 1 Timothy, I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Now, once again, as I told you, that's God. So if you want to go against God, that's on you. Yep. And on that note, we are out.